everybody, and welcome back to CT Time. As you see, I have my producer, Mr. Ray McCall, here with us again. It's because y'all don't be showing up. We have on white because we're twinsies, not because we're going to a baptism. As you know.
Oh dang, we do have like a cross on both our shirts. Oh my god.
We're not baptizing anybody, don't worry. We are just currently out of the studio today. And today's
9/11, y'all.
Today is 9/11, and I don't think we should clap for that. Do we clap?
I'm clapping
for the heroes. For the heroes.
Everybody went to a war about 9/11, World Tour.
So if you don't know, September 11, 2001 revealed heroism in ordinary people who might have gone through their lives and never called upon to demonstrate their extent of their courage. The attacks on September 11 intended to break our spirit. Instead, we emerged stronger, our nation more unified, and we feel renewed devotion for the principles of the political, economic, and religious freedom that we call America.
Oh, that's
how do you feel about that?
That's all I heard was patriotism. That's all I heard.
Do you have a problem with patriotism?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like if we were about to get bombed or like somebody was flying in with helicopters, all Americans, all of us, every color, even Hispanics or whatever, people that jump the wall, I feel like we all gonna be shooting up. We ain't gonna be doing this, we all gonna be shooting up together, defending America. Like we all talk about being like, oh, let's go to Switzerland and be safe in jail. Jail looks like a college dorm room in Switzerland. First off, why are you planning to go to a different country so you can be in comfortable jail? Why are you planning to go to a different, unless you already have pre-existing medical issues. Why are you planning to go to Switzerland, catch cancer from their dang on unregulated nuclear waste rivers, and then have free medical care? Like, y'all plans don't be working at all. That's like a broke man being like, I don't want to get married because she'll take half of my stuff.
Just so she don't twist my words, y'all. Like, in terms of patriotism, I'm talking about like, look, defending America. Like, what does Texas have to do with what I'm doing here in Ohio? Like, I'm defending my household, my home, whoever's in there, whoever's a part of it, even my own friends. If y'all part of my family, my circle, I'm gonna protect y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. But still, you know, who remembers 9/11? You remember 9/11?
No. How old was I?
Oh, no, you was born before 9/11.
Was I?
Yeah.
Was I 0? Say no, I was 2. Don't get to counting now. But I was 2.
Okay, I get it. You was 2. So here's what happened in 9/11, basically. There was these buildings called the World Trade Center.
What's that?
He said, what's that? They nicknamed it the Twin Towers. These were like really tall towers. Like they rivaled the clouds, basically. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of business happening in there, like similar to the stock market. But whatever, like in 9/11, September 11, 2001, a plane hit each building. The buildings caught on fire and they got demolition.
No, there were like 4 planes that went out.
4 planes, 2 planes hit it. They said it's 2.
You don't even know. Look, he tried to tell me. So 2 planes hit the Twin Towers, 1 plane hit the Pentagon, and another plane hit where?
I'm just talking about the Twin Towers.
I'm talking about 9/11. Where 4 planes attacked.
1 hit the Pentagon, 1 hit the 2 hit the Twin Towers, and another one hit like another government official spot. Mm-hmm. But like, really, it was more so about the Twin Towers because the Pentagon got fixed like that. Matter of fact, I don't know if you guys know this, but in 1996, the Twin Towers also had another bomb threat the same day.
Is this a conspiracy? And if you guys don't know, we might have been getting carried away a little bit. Today's episode is about conspiracies. In light of spooky season, yeah, here we go. Let's conspiracize.
Not remembering 9/11. Or did it really happen?
Conspiracy.
Did it really happen, y'all? That's what we're going to find out. So, now, I don't believe like a lot of video footage that I see because I edit videos myself. So it'd be really easy for me to just make the Twin Towers look like it didn't happen either.
Or the Pentagon stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're right.
Yeah, see? So
it was fixed like that.
But why was there already a camera pointed at the Twin Towers during the moment of impact?
Well, you know they do tower views of like everything, right?
Yeah.
Like forever time lapse, and like what if there was like a bald eagle nest right there? You know how people just watch the nest, or they do that to big buildings. You do know that, right? Like you can live stream watch any town hall you want because I guess people like that.
But seeing the plane attack
You can
town hall,
live stream watch like a train station. Those ones are good.
do you think they do that in 2001 though? You know how hard it was to get really good internet in 2001? You know what internet I had? I had dial-up. I had that internet. And I know a lot of people didn't have like Roadrunner at the time. Like that was what we call high-speed internet. We called it Roadrunner.
I remember that.
So like that's not an excuse for 2001. So today, yes, they probably had that because people have like enough access to certain like equipment now to where, yes, even your phone can take as good a picture as this camera that we're using. But 2001, people barely had cameras. So who was filming the Twin Towers in 2001? And that's not including all the other like found footage that we got online as well. But the found footage that you see, they will always like tilt their camera away from the tower before it gets like burned. So there's only one video shot of the tower getting hit by the plane, but every other found footage shot, it doesn't seem like it got hit by anything.
But you're right. That's some you just catch. Either you have your camera out or don't. But yeah, that's definitely gonna make you bring your camera out. Like, what? Dang, we missed it. But this is what's happening. So what do you mean? Unless they actually knew it was gonna happen.
That's the thing.
And that's why, like, certain street views, if there's only one view of it, then that makes sense then.
Yeah. But, you know, that's just like, for me, like, yeah, I don't think it happened either. But for real, what I'm saying particularly is that 9/11 was an inside job. Why? Because there was already camera footage of the planes hitting the building, which should not have been like their period, but that was something that they kept replaying on the news and all that. Then there is the issue of the bombing that happened in 1996, the same day of. Just it was 1996 instead of 2001. But in 2001, just a few days before the building got destroyed, the owner of the buildings already walked out with his insurance money.
Already had the money?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And there's also like footage of the basement of the Twin Towers.
He was like, if you go blow up my building, you gotta pay me in advance.
Mm-hmm. Walked out with it. Walked out with the money a few days before. They even said that they shut down the elevators and all these other things. Those are rumors, but I'm just saying these are...
That's sad. Yeah. But not like you could just ride the elevator down as it's being blown up from the top. Because those cables are probably connected to the top. So you'll be falling down.
You ever been in New York?
Anyway. Yeah, kind of.
Well, have you been to like their tallest buildings?
No.
Okay, so their tallest buildings actually have
it was
hydraulic. They actually have hydraulic elevators. So like they don't use strings to lift and drop down. It's just like pressure, just lifting and dropping the elevators. And the elevators actually go up a lot faster because they don't have to use the strings. Just stuff that you don't see in like sci-fi movies, but they've been doing that for a while. Like I found that out when I was like near the Empire State Building and everything. That's another story. So, right. And then, you know, besides that, like, so you look in the basement.
Elevator poles.
The elevator poles.
It's like the old school elevator poles, but they put a box on it. That makes sense.
Think of it like when you're using like a syringe and the syringe.
No, I'm a nerd. You know, I don't understand.
Yeah.
But you know, New York used to be known for elevator poles, similar to like firefighter poles.
Got you.
So improving on the elevator pole, making it hydraulic and putting a box on it is...
There's also, you know, like, if you see The Simpsons, you look at, like, dollar bills and all that, but again, I'm trying to, like, show more provable, like, things or convincing things.
Okay, since we're speaking of conspiracy theories and politics and...
She's about to show us, like, the dollar bill where the Twin Tower gets destroyed.
No, I don't know how to fold it. But we are going to talk about the man on the back of the number 2. You know what I'm talking about?
You want the black guy on there? Somebody was just telling me about that. Where is he at?
The only black one.
They all look white in the picture.
You're one of those? It's obviously one black person.
I see him. Okay. Yeah, he was supposedly like the first president, the actual first president.
The real first president, looking very... Oh, should be right here. Where? Do y'all see him? I don't think so.
What was his name again?
The father of our country.
Dang, we can't talk about him. We don't remember his name.
Black man. Hold on, let me shoot it up.
Okay, so there's this game called Illuminati. There's a card game, right, called Illuminati. Years before the Twin Towers got destroyed, there was already a card about destroying the Twin Towers. Like, just the fact that that was there, and that card can no longer be played in an Illuminati game. If anybody has ever played the game Illuminati, that you know what I'm talking about. There's also Illuminati connections to the basement in the Twin Towers as well. So, it's just a lot that's going on that's just showing like, hey, so this had to happen. Besides that, the War on Terror was
I knew it was John something, but John Hanson.
John Hanson? Mm-hmm. Okay. See, there we go, John Hanson. So, you find out later on, like that War on Terror that we had, that was all just to get oil. Like a few years later, like a U.S., soldier was just like, hey, y'all, we in the oil business. And like, that's what they went to Iraq for. Just sending people back from Iraq was just saying, hey, we can't gather oil no more. I mean, that was the whole point of half the memes that y'all see on Facebook whenever there's oil somewhere, like you see the U.S. Army over it. That's what the Twin Towers had to fall for. And those people that died, unless someone can call in and say, hey, my uncle was working in the Twin Towers, he did die in the Twin Towers. Were those people even real that died?
You think those people were simulation people that died in the Twin Towers?
Oh, no. I mean, somebody could definitely prove it. I'm just saying, prove it to me. Like, that's all.
Wow.
There's just too much, like, just...
But it did feel like... I feel like when there's a bunch of people missing, just like in COVID, when thousands of people died, you looked outside and you noticed it.
I didn't see nobody. My cousins died. I ain't gonna act like they didn't.
Yeah, don't act like your family didn't die. Because at one point in time, I had 16 family members in the hospital. And probably only about 6 of them made it. Their whole church was sick. I lost a lot of people in the same exact week. And it hurt. So it was
blame
real.
The churches for that, though.
We can play around and pretend like this is conspiracy, but we have real people that died, whether you want to be cold about it or
no, real people definitely died of COVID. It's more so, are they lying about the numbers?
No.
Because they were saying...
Because if all these people I just know, imagine all the people you know and they know and this person knows. And I know the hospital was overcrowded.
So you think like the whole 1/3...
But I do kind of feel like hospitals were just going person to person, like, you get to die, you get to die, you get to die, duck. Goose, goose, goose. Like, just stabbing people.
Do you think everybody in the hospitals had COVID?
They're passing it out like like candy. Because you get the COVID death bonus. That's the conspiracy theory of the century right there, of mankind. Okay? That's like saying Moses and them engineered the wasp. Okay, I heard the knock. Maybe I should knock too. Good bam.
Because there have been several confirmed false positives, though, of people having COVID. Now, some people did die of respiratory issues, but they already were born with respiratory issues. Like some people died of asthma.
No, I'm an educator. There's 2 kids out from my school already with COVID.
I believe it.
I'm like, dang, already?
We're already in flu season, so it's like a little different story for that. Like, no, for real. Like, so kids, when school starts, kids always come in with like a brand new mutated like cold symptom or something.
And they know what they do? They mix it all together. Everybody in their weird little mutations, they mix it all together in the ring around the rosy and they bring it home. And just,
Yep, snot everywhere and everything. Yep, just shaking their hands after they dug up their butt. Oh, I can imagine.
So my favorite conspiracy to talk about, and something that really does trouble me, is thinking about skin theory. And I brought it up multiple times, but skin theory is basically, if you haven't seen the movie Get Out, it's basically being in the sunken place, or us just walking around in the simulation as like a people farm. And then the rich, the 1%, gets to pick out which one of us with the best genes, and the best this and the best that, and good credit and easy to start over, all that one stuff. Plug their brains into ours, or even just get our DNA and grow a new us somewhere else, Gemini Man style, and just just take over, or just use our bodies, or it's the people farm. But I also feel like that's the basis of the movie The Matrix. the people farm thing. You know how when Neo used to wake up and fight those things, and he'd be hooked up to some dang on machine, and they sucking this, and he in a pod, and he gets to escape. But when he's sleeping in the pod, he's living a normal life. He's doing his stuff. He could host a podcast.
There's now 3 theories about the Matrix.
And then he wakes up. He has to fight this thing, but the Matrix is literally has all this stuff hooked up to him, and guess what they're getting off of him?
What?
Power, energy, all that one stuff off of what? Him being frustrated in daily life. Let's say he's driving in the simulation world and somebody cuts him off in traffic, or he stubs his toe, or he's late to work, or his boss looks at him funny, or like anything. All of that will generate energy to power the Matrix.
Well, they literally said they get more energy from joy. It's just everybody in the Matrix actually wants to suffer. Like, that was the whole point of, like, you know, they were talking about.
But that's real stuff. It's people that would love to suffer. People walking around seeing the negative and everything. People crave pain and suffrage and just.
That's why y'all watch all those reality shows.
Well, that's why we're looking for conspiracy theories.
We're looking at conspiracy theories because you have to be, like, one crazy guy.
We gotta baptize somebody.
I say like this: if the world was a village, you need a village crazy person, a village idiot to actually make sure there's a balance. Because if everybody just walks around, gets coconut, and then goes home, and that's it, that's all they do every single day, where is the actual thriving? Where's the actual, like,
But that's
push?
sad. I also bring that same analogy up when I talk about the problem in humanity, or at least WYT people. Because imagine though, when it was just them and they were all looking the same or so to us, guess what they did? They murdered each other, the ones that had big noses. Because they're like, he's different. His nose is big. Let's kill all the ones with big noses. You know what I'm talking about? Holocaust. And then when they finally encountered people that weren't like them, guess what? They banded together and they had to get rid of all the ones that were brown. That's easier to weed out the brown ones. Like, you know? Like, so it's like people always try to find something to be upset about, or adversity, or a way to separate themselves from other people. Just like about my race or whatever. I'm West Indian, but when I'm amongst other people that look like me, or when I'm about to encounter the police, or when I see somebody that looks like me about to encounter the police, guess what I see? My brother, my sister, all that one stuff. But when I get to talking about how my family wasn't slaves, then it's like, dang, you think you're better than me. What? I see us as the same. The world sees us as the same, regardless of if my voice is white or black or ghetto or what. If we all shut up and sit in the line, we're all the same. So why separate myself by saying this or that and all these subcategories when we're all brown people?
I mean, it leads us back again to 9/11. World War. You know, no, listen. You know, for like 6 years straight, right? Mm-hmm. All someone had to do was scream Al Qaeda. And then, you know, the person who was just a little bit of a darker skin, they attacked that dude. And then during the COVID issue, you know how many Asian people have gotten, like, sent somewhere just because they're Asian? They're not even Chinese. And, you know, like,
I don't respect how they did their thing, because that's another thing where I will always talk about how black has to be more exclusive. Did you see the Asian Rights Act that was passed as soon as Biden got into office, after he roared black, 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 black to get into the office? And then the first thing he does is to pass specifically an Asian rights thing, when we've been fighting for this forever. But the thing is, if black people would have got it, it wouldn't have been a black rights thing. It would have just been a people's rights, or colored people's rights, or cultured people's rights. And guess who all would have been on the poster?
Everybody.
All of us would have been on that poster. But when they did it, they made sure it was only them and only them on the poster, and they put an umbrella amongst themselves and protected themselves. But when it would have been us, we would have had Asian babies on that poster. We would have had Mexican babies on that poster. We would have had Indian babies on that poster. You know we would have.
There's no such thing as hate, like different colors of hands, like holding each other.
You know, like literally, everybody would have been on that poster. But when they do it, it's specifically.
I'm not even going to do race theory, y'all, because race theory, as much as I talk about it, like, during certain things, like, I just talked about, you know, how they attacked every single person who looked East Asian. during COVID.
But they made sure to cover themselves, so they got it.
There we go.
They got it.
But then they also did the same.
Put us on a poster.
They also did the same thing to Asians during World War II. We actually made concentration camps during World War II for anybody that was Asian.
But okay.
We as the U.S. Then we talk about patriotism.
Okay, but
we as the U.S. y'all, decided to have Asian concentration camps because it wasn't just Japanese people in there. There was Chinese, there was Koreans, there was Vietnamese people there. Like some of those people actually did move to the U.S. for freedom and all that, so they can actually work a better job. But next thing you know, as soon as they moved here, they get sent to an island somewhere just because everybody thinks they're a spy or something. Man, the Cold War, World War II was some hard times, y'all. That's not even a conspiracy. That's something that you can look at in your history books. I know they're removing, now that's a conspiracy theory, they're removing a lot of dark history away from American history, like the Trail of Tears. How they don't call it the Trail of Tears anymore. They say, the re-education
of the Indians.
Man, the re-education of the Indians. The Indians happily walked away and things. We still don't even talk about like what really happened during Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
But whenever I feel like I'm giving like honor, or when I try to go out my way to think about the Native Americans, I feel like I'm sinning or something. Like when I'm like, rest in peace those turkeys. Now mine dry. Like, dang. Like, what? Like, then why you eating it? Like, like they cursed my meal or something. So I'm just...
Thanksgiving is a Christian holiday, as evil as it was. It was a Christian holiday.
So whenever I try to, like, really think about them, I just feel like it's...
Even still.
Don't fake it. I'm not going to fake it.
Now, for the people
leave y'all alone.
For people who walk in the houses, like, you know what Thanksgiving's really about and all that? Like, I ain't hearing that.
Thanksgiving is when you eat one scoop of chitlins, and then you continue on with the rest of your year.
That's Black Thanksgiving, y'all. That's
New
Black
Year's.
That's
you
Black
suck
country.
A pig toe.
That's Black country Thanksgiving.
Pig feet and black-eyed beans. That's what it's about. One chitlin. That's all you have to eat. If you want to eat more, then...
I'm just saying, I don't want to hear it. I'm trying to eat some good rolls, the butter rolls that they only make once a year.
They go all out for Thanksgiving.
Man, I'm trying to eat that good baked mac and cheese. Like,
hey, but speaking on behalf of all millennials and Gen Zers, can y'all stop playing with Thanksgiving and Christmas? We are about to be responsible for this whole show. All of this is going to be us. Easter, Thanksgiving, all that one stuff. So when the holiday comes, this isn't the time for canned biscuits. This isn't the time for canned dressing. This isn't the time for canned stock. This isn't the time for frozen vegetables. Make your cornbread. Crumble it up. Okay? That's what stuffing is.
Don't go on TikTok and figure out how to make it though, please. Please, no,
maybe I think that's
a conspiracy theory right there.
Because they're saying that millennials are going straight from club hopping to our granny years, and I felt that because I'm either like, hey, Pound Town, take me to Pound Town, versus does this risotto need a splash of vanilla? I go back and forth from that. I also do that, but no, when the holiday come, we don't want to see a box of nothing. I should just see ingredients everywhere. And every time I come back, the ingredients should be turned into something. I shouldn't see nothing. You shouldn't be reading nothing off a box when the holiday comes. That's the real conspiracy.
No, that is.
Make holidays great again.
Y'all need to go get
Stay
your
home from
grandma's
church.
cookbooks.
Cook all night long.
Get y'all grandma's cookbooks, y'all. Whoever is the best cooker in the family, get y'all grandma's cookbooks. Your auntie's cookbooks. Your uncle's cookbooks.
Get the cookbook.
Get the cookbook.
Watch her cook it.
If not,
write down
Walmart,
what she really did.
Walmart got some. Walmart got some, please. Like, mix it up with Walmart cookbooks.
Oh no, you be needing a little help too sometimes.
I didn't even cook anything.
Exactly. But your rice omelet stuff with ketchup.
You ain't never seen a rice omelet?
It sounds good.
Okay, so she don't know how rice omelet's made.
I do. And I can excel at it.
You do?
With the stirring and then the folding over and then the slicing over the rice.
But did you see like the Japanese style? They put ketchup on top.
I understand.
See? She coming at me about something I'm following whole Japanese ingredients here. Anyways, y'all.
That's like, okay, because one Japanese struggle meal, but their struggle meal is exclusive and fancy for you.
That's actually a fancy meal.
That's their struggle meal.
No, that's their fancy meal. They eat that in high class and low class restaurants.
Like how we do like fried Twinkies at a fancy restaurant.
When you go like Spaghetti
Factory. It's still like a struggle meal, but they make it at fancy places. Like Spam Shuzini.
Nah, it's like
you can make that fancy.
It's like Alfredo, like at Spaghetti Factory. Like you should be paying like $30 for Alfredo, but you do it because you're at Spaghetti Factory. Like
$30 for freaking rice with a.
See, what rice and what?
With that little milky orange omelet on it.
No, you get like actual eggs and stuff. You get some rice, you get some vegetables, you get your choice of meat, and then you mix it together.
Egg fouillon me. Egg fouillon is the best egg thing that they have ever given us. I'm sorry, y'all. But y'all covered by the Race Act.
Anyways.
Pay it to the Race Act. I'm sorry.
Do you have
not y'all, but us.
Besides the same
we all same.
Besides the skin theory, you got any conspiracy theories?
Yes, skin theory, the fact that space probably really is water. Space being water is like, man, because then they can literally fake us out all the time by saying like, you can't breathe it, your suit will leak and all this other stuff. And then it being cold knowing you're super deep in the ocean. And they're like, oh, it's cold because it's space.
She went like surface level. No, for real.
But really like the easiest lies.
This is me like, calling some of these people out like with the flat earth theory and Anunnaki stuff like that. Like, how many times like they changed up the Anunnaki like story and all that? Like I've heard about 6 different iterations of it. Matter of fact,
there's no way of telling which one is real.
Yeah, it's getting closer to Scientology.
Which woke man sounded woker when he told you it?
I do want to say this particularly. Like, I think vampires work at hospitals.
That would be smart.
Now, I'm not going to say, like, I've seen a vampire or I believe fully in vampires.
Do you feel like they need too much blood all the time?
Because they're so hungry all the time.
Like, the hospitals, they shouldn't need that much blood all the time.
Bro, listen. You know how many times I go to the hospital and they draw my blood for a headache? A headache? I went there, my nose was broken. They draw my blood.
Because is it broken? Because of drugs?
Like, bro, this like 3 weeks ago. I just came here because everybody said go to the hospital.
And then you think all those little appetizers add up? If they keep drawing everybody that comes in there, then it adds up to a lot of blood for all of them to drink on.
And then, what do they do with the placentas after childbirth?
You know what they do with them?
What?
Do you know what they do with them? Do you want us to tell you what they do with them? Because we about to go down the rabbit hole, and I need y'all to bear with me unless you don't want to know what they do with them. They turn it
into powder. And they make y'all consume it.
They use our freaking stem cells to help cancer. So not quit, but that's okay. That part is okay. But have you all heard of the eugenics fund?
Yeah.
Planned Parenthood. These are hills I die on. But the Eugenics Fund, also known as Planned Parenthood, places Planned Parenthoods, well, they used to before they got exposed. Well, they used to place Planned Parenthoods in melanin-rich communities so they can harvest our abortions and our placentas and everything can go to a local hub.
And that's how y'all got the fetus cells in y'all Pepsi bottles.
Yes. Why? Why does there need to be a little bit of fetus in Pepsi? Or like they're literally putting our children's blood into paint to make it richer. You feel me? They're taking our black babies, grounding up their little membranes and putting it into gummies that we feed to our kids so they can go to sleep. We're feeding our child sleeping pill gummies made out of their own sister's bones. We have to move on.
Now, I know that they do particularly
we have to move on.
Yeah, move on. Okay.
Not good.
I do know, particularly they do turn into the powders to be consumed for medicine, to help with memory glands.
The stem cell stuff is okay, yeah. But then they just doing too much. Why does Coke need fetus juice? Is that what it was missing? I feel like it just tastes different now.
Imagine they don't actually have to
put Coke back in it.
They don't have to actually ground up so many placentas. Enough people get born every day in every hospital and all that. So they're really just probably sitting somewhere else, whatever. And again, vampires were at the hospital. So I'm just saying, there's enough blood in there to help them out for like a day or two. And then besides that, there's the blood banks. Blood banks still work with the hospitals at that. When people draw blood,
there's no way everywhere needs this much blood.
Yeah.
There's not that many people getting hurt that they need this much blood all the time.
You're at the morgue. And like,
they drain the bodies.
Yes. Fresh body only got killed 30 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago.
They literally drain it. You're right. What? Yeah. I mean, like, of course it wouldn't stink as much. Like, oh, what is he going to do with it? Because, like, sometimes they put bodies in walls. I feel like those are the only bodies you should, like, drain. He's not making this up. These are actual facts. I just know stuff as well.
I'm just like,
but they really drain the bodies.
Yeah. So why? And then like so I asked, I was like, hey, so where did all that blood go? I don't know, it goes to a tank or something. I'm like, there's no way that somebody's draining blood into the river. Nobody's draining that much blood into the river. Like that will not clean out. That's a lot of iron and like all types of other drugs. It would be
scummy and bumpy.
And then because of like Magic Johnson, they were making sure that nobody catches AIDS. So they have to store blood somewhere. Just saying.
Where? Like, yeah, exactly. And then if they were really getting rid of that much blood at the hospital would reek of blood no matter how much hydrogen peroxide y'all use on the dang on camera.
Bleach everywhere. Just, that's all it smells, bleach, peroxide, and all these other, like, non-actual medical chemicals on, like, you know, these equipment that they use. But, you know, that...
They just
I guess we at the hospital. Yeah. Even still. Then... Like you was talking about stem theory and all that, it also comes back to stem theory in my opinion. They draw your blood. What if you have like a really good blood type? What if you just have really good genes and you have health insurance? Because
the way that they act when you want to keep your placenta is like you taking money out of their family's pockets. Like, no, we charter you for this birth, but we get to keep this. You kept the baby, we keep this. Like, they will sneak it from you. Once it's out of your view, they say it's contaminated and it's against the law to give it to you. They make up all types of excuses to not give you your placenta. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, like, you know.
You were going somewhere.
Yeah, so when you have a good blood type or whatever, and, you know, whatever reason they couldn't clone your blood properly.
Henrietta Lacks.
Like, they're going to call you back and be like, hey, so we found something wrong with you. I think your arm is broken or something. Like, they'll just tell you, like, all types of weird stuff on the phone because they got your number. And they be like, yeah.
They come in, they draw another pint of blood, and then we can talk.
Yeah.
Like, what?
So what's wrong with you, doc? Oh, we have to do, like, 5, 6, 7 physicals. And, like, you know, you're doing physicals for stuff that has nothing to do with your actual issue that they told you about on the phone. Like, now you're getting, like, MRI, CAT scan and such, you know, so they can see, like, you know.
Like, if I got an eye problem, why are you putting on the rectal gloves?
Yeah, no, real.
No, really, like, just here for something else.
Just all of that. And when you think about it, it's like, what? No, and these are people just with health insurance. Let's just say you are an organ donor, right?
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, you know how many people, black people, end up missing?
Because why my iPhone gotta know? And my iPhone be everywhere. I be Why do my iPhone gotta know? Because I doubt that the paramedics are gonna be like, check her phone! Check her phone! What kind of blood does she need? Check her phone!
I just talked to my wife about that. I was like, why do I need to tell my phone about emergency contacts? Who's gonna turn on my phone and be like, emergency contacts?
What's his blood type before we give him anything? Let's check his phone. Let's check his phone.
They're not going to check that. A cop might check that, but paramedics...
Like, you could probably test my blood faster than you plug in my phone and check it.
A paramedic's going to prick your finger. They're going to draw your blood. They just have to. You know, I get that. They just have to draw your blood.
I know. Why? You might as well learn something when you do it. Like, I hate when people just draw your blood and then they don't come back with no information.
No information. They just, let me draw your blood. I'll be back.
Just 2 more vials of that.
They never come back,
This one's green. This one's yellow. This one has Vaseline at the bottom.
That nurse whole time could have been an actual vampire.
Like, and then they never come back. Like, how much did you need for what?
I got another point.
Like, when I was in science class, every test that we did, we needed the tiniest drop of everything, didn't we? We needed the tiniest.
The tiniest.
Drop us to go on the dang old microscope.
FBI studies literally say that they don't need that much DNA. They can get a strand of hair and they can tell who you are.
They take whole pints of blood. Next time, be like, just take what you need.
Then they're gonna drain you half your whole body.
Like, just take what you need.
You're gonna be coming out looking like you are a vampire.
I just want to call you back needing more. But like, have you ever, like, this happened with my child before. They pulled up to my baby with 5 vials of things they want to get filled. They only filled one like halfway, and they're like, we could probably work with this. Then why would you come with five things
like
planning to fill that up? If only one of them you could work with that.
My other point, listen, there are people who are allergic to light.
Understood.
There are actual people who like UV radiation syndrome, and UV radiation is sunlight, basically, right? They are allergic to the sun. They can't go outside during the day. Well, they can't stay outside during the day because their skin will break out, hive out, all this other stuff, right? Vampires can't come out during the day because a lot of crazy reactions will happen. Not every single vampire is going to die when the sun hits them, but enough of them, yeah, they scream and ride the pain.
So, are you more scared of vampires than you are werewolves?
I would love to meet a werewolf. Bite me so I can just be an immortal hairy dude.
Let me just ate you. Went home.
I'll be upset.
Yeah.
I know I'm dead, but I'm upset.
Like, you're going to be all like, do it. And then
Take me.
Like, stop eating. Was that enough? Stop it. I said no.
I'm trying to grow this back.
Then you die.
Yeah.
And then they don't even drink it.
Yeah. Just.
At least the vampire, I don't know. Who do you think would be more wasteful?
The vampire, because now you're just a dead white body. I mean, like, I'm not that dark, but I'm just saying, like, I'll be a dead white body.
We'd be this color.
No, we'll be lighter than that.
No, you'll be like that.
Nah, I'll be lighter than this.
Like,
there's still pigmentation here. You see the pink in my hand?
I see the
like,
blood of flowing.
Yeah. Be whiter than the wall behind us. Like, anyway. So, what was I saying? Vampires live in artificial light. Now, certain buildings that you're in, there's natural, artificial, and then there's like heat lights and all that, heat lamps. But hospitals all have artificial lights because of people who are allergic to light. So
that would be the ideal job.
Yeah, ideal job. Literally just walking around.
Then you can easily avoid windows.
Yes.
Whether it's throwing the big old curtain up or anything.
Most of those halls in the hospital, there is no actual like window to the sun. So, yeah.
All right, any vampires that have a problem with what he had to say, he's here. Come find him. He's ready to deal with you. Bring some werewolf friends. Bite him so you can be picking on somebody your own. So we're asking for it. From me, from him, to y'all.
Even still, it's just no hate to any like actual mythical creatures out there or whatever.
No, but like real and otherwise, because you know people's pronouns be going too crazy. I met this elfish girl the other day. She got her ears done. Yeah.
Okay,
Can't tell her nothing. You got your ears done, so now I guess you're legally elfish.
I'm just saying sperm banks, blood banks, hospital. There's enough protein in sperm. Vampires still need iron and protein. There's enough iron and protein in semen.
That's why they eat placentas, remember?
Yeah, there's enough iron and protein in semen to where like a vampire can live off of. And like, if you've ever been to a sperm bank, you gotta feel like a nice jar. Yeah. So it's very possible. Yeah. Now, there might be a kinky vampire out there
that likes milkshakes.
Thick ones. Anyways, look, the hospitals.
We're in the elementary school.
We're in the library. Just blood banks, hospitals, morgues. Maybe even a few police officers. You know how many times like cops kill people? Not on camera. Like there's a lot of
And I believe the same way with like the Boy Scouts of America being littered with people or ass people that want to target children, and teachers in positions like that being jobs that do the same thing with people that want to target children. Of course, if you want to target
I'm just saying, like, you know, vampires today in the 21st century, they don't need to kill a bunch of people.
If you want to kill people and you don't have the money to afford a gun, you get hired and you get paid.
Get hired as a cop. Just
kill a free gun.
Kill somebody who you know, like, they're not going to look for them.
And then when police officers commit crimes, they're often slapped on the wrist or just ignored.
Suspended.
Because they don't want to be embarrassed. So, like, if you want to be a criminal, being a police officer is literally the best job you could ever have.
Night shift cops, half of them turn off their camera. Especially if it's a non-traffic violation, half of them turn off their cameras. So and vampires move fast. So they could
We are dying on this hill.
Look,
with this vampire thing.
I'm just saying, unless somebody can tell me where the blood goes in the morgue, there's a tank that they can easily drain out.
I do believe in vampires more than I would believe in any other mythical creature. You feel me? Just about them just being long-standing, here for a long time. Just forever with the whole, like, immortal.
You gotta be smart now.
Even if they weren't that immortal, I feel like they would still be here, and people like that.
I'm just saying, like, they can't be rich no more. They can't. You know, Will Ferrell might be the only rich vampire out here right now. But, you know, like, look, he has not aged.
You know who else I believe is a vampire?
Who?
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
I really believe she's a vampire.
I remember that, like, at my job.
Picture her with William Shakespeare.
Oh.
Anne Hathaway and her husband look like the doppelgangers of William Shakespeare, and guess who his wife was?
Who?
Anne Hathaway. The same name. William Shakespeare's wife's name was Anne Hathaway, and they look exactly alike. Like they just took the same people, took pictures together.
Maybe she learned how to do that one voice thing. I forgot, reincarnation.